So Piyush Nayak is asking how to become less moody. Thank you so much for that question. Now, when you say how to become less moody, the first thing that you got to understand is why do you become moody? Now, remember that any emotional pattern that is setting in your space, okay, certain things that you experience in your past, all of us become the record of our past by the time we become 25-30-year-olds. We've all gone through our experiences, we've all gone through certain situations, and the way we were brought up as children. Eventually what happens is your patterns, your behaviors, your emotions, all of that becomes the memorized, recorded pattern. And in this case, remember that the first time you experience certain kind of a trauma in your space, it invokes a certain emotion in your space, and you are in that space for that moment, right? Now, if that trauma was too much for you to digest, or you could not make sense of it, and if you keep ruminating on that experience again and again, it gives you that mood. Like suppose you say that, you know what, I'm in a mood, I'm not in a good mood today. I am feeling angry or I'm feeling sad. Now, if it continues for weeks and months, it becomes your temperament. And when those months turn into years, it becomes your personality. So first you got to understand that which stage are you? Are you on the moods? Are you on the temperament? Or has that emotion become your personality? So generally to identify that, you got to see if that mood stays with you how long. How quickly are you able to snap out of that emotion, that mood? Depends on that. You will first determine whether you're on the mood level, temperament level, or a personality level. Okay? Now understand something here. When you say that how to become less moody, what you mean to say is how to feel more inspired, motivated, and happier, right? Because when you're saying moody, you're probably talking about the negative emotions that you're feeling in your space. Now, when you want to feel less negative emotions, you got to understand one simple thing is your thoughts trigger your emotions, and your thoughts comes from your experience. So whatever the past experience that you have gone through and you have not made sense of that past experience, it's now generating the thoughts in your brain, and those thoughts are creating the emotions on automation, right? So for you to become less moody, you got to first go to an experience that is creating that mood in your space. Whether it's one experience or there are multiple experiences that you still couldn't make sense of it. So the best way to get into the root cause of it is start journaling. Start writing down all the incidents, all the experiences that you remember where you felt this way. Whether it's anger, sad, disappointment, lethargy, laziness, whatever the mood is, you got to write it down, every experience that you have been through. And sometimes, you will say, oh, I don't remember. That's not true. You will remember when you start writing down. Maybe not on the first day, but slowly you will remember. Most likely, if you're feeling this, you're getting moody again and again, you know that there is an experience there lying somewhere in the corner of your brain. That's the first thing that I want you to write down. And I want you to understand that experience in terms of what is my lesson in this experience? What is happening, and because why the brain is keeping that experience alive in your spaces, you have not yet made sense of that experience. And unless and until you make sense of a negative experience, you don't learn something out of it, your brain gets stuck on to that experience. So your brain is constantly trying to make sense of that past experience by showing you these moods. So now what you want to do is when you write down that experience, instead of feeling, blaming that person who did something to you, or instead of giving justifications and excuses for the behaviors of yours or other people, or instead of just saying, what the hell, the world is like this. How about just paying attention to your feelings, paying attention to that experience, and then looking at what exactly you have to learn from this experience. Sometimes what happens is the experiences teach us so much. If worse comes, You are learning how not to be in a relationship, or how not to give in your control, or how not to trust somebody, right? So that experience is giving you an experience of understanding yourself better, evolving yourself better. So how about figuring it out? What is your biggest lesson that came out of that experience? The moment you learn your lesson from that experience, now your brain is gone, I can now release, like I can now relax, because now I can make logical sense of the behavior of the other person, or what that person did this to me. Also, second thing, take yourself out of that equation. Whatever the person behaved with you in that event, in that experience, is the way they are. It doesn't say anything about you. But what happens is, when you go through a traumatic event, or anything has happened in your life like that, you attach that meaning to yourself and you take it very personally. You take that humiliation, rejection really personally, and you think, you know what, that person rejected me, that person humiliated me. No, that person rejected that behavior, that trait, that habit that is inside you. You are not that trait, you are not that habit, you are not that behavior. It's a small part of you. So how about taking your 99% part out of that equation and say, hey, you know what, that was 1% that person didn't like. And it's okay, I have 99%, which is great. And if you feel that taking the feedback from that event, that okay, this is something that person didn't like, or many people pointed out probably for you to that particular habit, how about then changing and working on that? One thing, remember, you will get less moody when you are evolving, when you are learning something new, and you are becoming your better version. What is one thing, the truth bomb for you is probably you're not spending enough time learning and becoming a better version of yourself. And that's the reason it bothers you more. You know, people, those who are constantly learning and growing and becoming their better versions, are least bothered about something that happened 5, 10, 15 years back. They learned their lesson, they moved on from there, they became the better person. Now they are going on to the next lesson. So first thing first, start writing the journal, go into that experience, take the learning out of it, become a lifelong learner, become your better version. You will start experiencing really amazing feelings within you. You will start experiencing, and now what will happen is, the moment you'll feel inspired and motivated, start surrounding yourself with the good people. People, those who actually uplift you, people, those who are actually calling you out. Like I'm calling you out right now. I just said I'm going to give you a truth bomb right now, because you asked me this question. You're probably someone who's ruminating on something that happened 5, 10, 15 years back, which is not even worth right now. Or maybe it happened 5 minutes back or 10 minutes back. It's not even worth. Remember, what is not going to be important for you after 5 years, don't even spend 5 minutes on that event. Focus on what you want to achieve in the next 5 years and become that person. Stop telling yourself, once I get there, I will be that person. No, you first be that person, and that experience will draw towards you faster. And when you start working on yourself, and when you have these goals, and when you are surrounding yourself with people, those who inspire you to become your better version, you will not have time to be, ruminating and feeling sad and getting into the moods. This is how every single day you retrain your brain and your body to get into the better moods. Now remember, biorhythms of the body are going to be like the nature. How nature teaches us, there are seasons, right? Similarly, your body has seasons. Every single day we go through the biorhythms. Not all hours are going to be optimum motivational hours. There is possibility that sometimes you'll feel lethargic, sometimes you'll feel lazy, sometimes you'll want to take break. That's okay too. But overall, if you feel that you're inspired, motivated, and you're looking forward for your future, you're going to feel happy and you're going to feel excited. You're going to feel, I look forward to my next moment, my next experience. So let me know if this helps you, Piyush, and work on this.